Hello, 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 ladies, gents, boys and girls. Welcome along to tonight's live stream where we have the final round of the MultiClass Masters here in Le Mans Ultimate. Slight apologies there for the slightly slower start. I was just quickly sorting last minute things. And we'll just do the usual notices around on various Discord servers saying that we are now live. I'm telling everyone, come join, come watch. It's the final race of the season. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully, we can get ourselves a good result and hopefully push ourselves up towards the top end of the series and try and get as many points as we possibly can for those final championship standings. Not entirely sure where we are likely to end up finishing. But we shall see. We shall see. Either way, feeling pretty good coming into this race. Car feels good. Pretty happy with the setup that I have, and therefore feeling pretty good in terms of pace. I just need to make some last-minute adjustments based off of what we need for the qualifying session. So bear with me 1 second here whilst I try and calculate that and out the top of my head as to how much it is that we're actually going to be needing for this race. Kind of thinking about that much, but let's see. Right. Yes. Hopefully you guys and girls are all strapped in, getting yourselves ready for this race. Hopefully we can have ourselves a good one, as we mentioned. Hope that you're all good. Hope you had a nice, lovely weekend. As you can probably tell, things are a little bit different in terms of the webcam and everything going on behind. The webcam hasn't changed. I've just finally spent some time actually sorting out a lighting setup. As previously, I had a little square light that was over that side. I've now moved it over there, and I had a much larger light that was over that side and at the back, behind my other monitor. That was quite far away, pointing towards me, but it wasn't really doing too much. So I moved it over to this side here, and as you can probably tell, there's some nice little lighting behind me because I've now gone and stuck a light up behind me, and yes, professional looking setup, and I've added some background blur to the webcam as well. Makes it look a lot nicer, and just generally a lot more crisp. And I'm very happy with the result. So yeah, hopefully the webcam and everything looks a whole lot better than it previously did. Right. Let's see what we can do. See what we can do as we are going into the qualifying session now. So let's go ahead and bring up the game so you guys and girls can see that. Let's double check that everything is all good to go and head out onto the circuit. We are down the near end of the pit lane, so we have to remember that for that race. Oh, one person's got a stop and go penalty already. Alright. Let's head out onto the circuit. Get ourselves prepped for this this qualifying session. And hopefully we can have some nice, good clean laps and get ourselves a good position for the start of the race here. That is what I'm hoping for. Hey Nicholas, brings out the colours in your eyes. Thank you very much. As I said to my wife, I now look like a model or a professional gamer with this much better lighting setup and the depth of field effect. So yeah, you can see all the weird concentration faces that I or in much better definition now than previously. But yes, this being the MultiClass Masters, this will be a multi-class race. Ourselves in the LMP3. There's LMP2 cars, the ELMS LMP2 cars, so they've got very good straight line speed, and then there's GT3 cars here in this as well. For those of you who are new here and don't understand how this multi-class format works or don't know the details, it means that not only are we going to be fighting within our class, we're going to have to deal with navigating traffic and traffic navigating us as well, and trying to avoid losing time. Race is going to be an hour and 40 minutes. As you can see, there's just over 8 minutes remaining here in this qualifying session on our outlap. Lap times, low 201s into the high 2-minute flats is where I want to be qualifying pace-wise. My PB is a 2:01.2, but theoretical personal best is 2 minutes 0.8, maybe a 0.9. Annoyingly, I spun in the final corner, blowing those 3-4 attempts that I had. But we're going to continue to build up the pace here. Purple in Sector 1 so far, which is nice. Who we got in here? Oil's in here, Leon's in here. Pips we saw last time. Billingham saw in the practice session before the race, and I think he was doing high fuel running. So it's hard to know what sort of quality pace he actually has. And there's 11 of us LMP3s. Most that we've had for quite a while. Not fastest in the middle sector. Someone's probably running lower wing and concentrating a little bit more than I was in that middle sector. Pretty good to end to the lap there. Alright, let's see if we can improve on that. There's a bunch of us all very close together on the circuit. But this is going to be interesting. Much better exit off of turn 1, and obviously fuel load is bleeding down as well. Purple again. Not quite got the confidence to go completely flat out of there just yet. Is just about possible with the setup that I have. Oh, a bit wide there. A bit deep. Got a better exit. Oh my god, 1/1000th of a second. If we didn't mess up that penultimate turn, we'd probably have it. Few thousandths of a second. Oh, we've overslowed. Couple more laps to go. Oh, a bit tight on the entry there. Yeah, wide. Good enough for pole at the moment. One more shot. Oh, too hard, too deep. Yeah. Ruined it. Damn. Oh, I would have really liked to got into the 2-minute zeros. Very close though. Very, very close. Right. I'm going to go to the loo. So, BRB. Aha, still P1. Lovely. Things that we like to see. Hopefully we don't bottle this. Hello, hello. Good to see you, Astro. Good to see you, Chris. Messed.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for
All right.
the race start.
Here we go. Getting ourselves nice and ready. Nice fresh tyres. Full tank of fuel. Yep, everything is all good. All set. And we're ready to go. Thank you very much, Night Tires. Now all we need to do is just hold on to this throughout the race. There we have good pace, we just need to be clean over everyone else. Right, it is saying... $36 litres. What I'm going to need. Shake, shake, shake. Right, the end of the music. Countdown in the last few seconds. Hopefully everything stays clean in front.
Formation lap has started.
Hopefully we can get away well without any issues. Something changed with the camera. I've not moved the camera, no. I have, however, readjusted the background and actually sorted out the lighting here and there, so it looks a lot better. Oh, and I've added a depth of field blur as well to the camera through NVIDIA Broadcaster. So that's probably why I look a lot more handsome, and generally the camera looking a lot more sharp. Better, professional, more professional. Otherwise, it's the same camera as before. Right, here we go, ladies and gents. Hopefully we can have ourselves
Green flag, green flag.
a good start here. Straight away off, and a little bit of a gap to P2 because we got a leash there in that final corner. Just hope that all the LMP2s here behave themselves. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, we managed to survive that without any damage. Very interesting there. Alright, let's go. Let's try and pull away from the rest of the field if we can. The thing that I've got to remember is I'm on high fuel. I've not really done any high fuel testing, so I don't know what this is going to be like. But I appreciate the well wishes, guys and girls. Give the live stream a like. Hopefully we can have a good, fun, entertaining race and get ourselves a good result here. LMP2 making its way through past the other LMP3s behind. But we're definitely going to have to take a look at that race start because that was interesting and chaotic, to say the least. Right, starting to build a bit of a gap to P2 already. It's a bit of a venture into the unknown here. I've not really run on this this higher fuel load with this setup, so I don't know how it's going to behave over the course of the race, but if we can start to build a bit of an early lead, obviously it will work nicely in our favour and give us a bit of a buffer over everyone else behind. Obviously we do have the traffic to deal with as well. That's going to become a factor later in the race. Ah. One of the guys behind us had a spin. So now it's Boyle. He's behind, 4.5 seconds back. Indeed we are in a lead. And building. Good to see you, Lowrick. How are you doing, bud? First track limits there, even though I tried to give up a bit of time. That's messy. Alright, gap 6 seconds. Alright, half a second in that first sector. It's always nice. Definitely going to be uploading this setup to Ultimate Setup Hub once this race is over, if we have this much pace over everyone else. First of the GT3s. How can you run 98% brakes? I can only imagine 83. I know it's a skill issue, but how did you train it? Just practice. The thing is, the higher the percentage you run in terms of brake pressure, the more stopping power you have. So it's just a case of trying to adjust your braking to that and pushing it to a point where it's not locking. Just figuring out where that locking point is. And there are things that you can do as well with regards to brake bias if you're in the hypercars, brake migration. Alex K's done a pretty good video on it in the last week or so, explaining it. But it's just a case of trying to improve braking technique, or have the brake pedal work in a way that works and feels comfortable for you. So as you can see, I was able to get it to a percentage there and kind of maintain that throughout the braking zone. And whilst that isn't 100%, it feels relatively consistent in terms of whereabouts in the elastomers I'm hitting in terms of the overall stiffness, and it's just building that muscle memory. Bit deep there. Never mind. Trying to loose up some loose ends. I racing back in the rig. Still 2.5 weeks of recovery. What is it you're trying to recover from? Something happened that I missed? Practice? No way, really? Train your muscle memory? Yeah, pretty much. That and just trying to practice good technique, and my technique is by no means perfect. There's still so much room for improvement, so I tend to fluctuate on the brake pedal quite a bit in some braking zones, and I do wish I was a bit smoother, but I'm making it work for myself. Best way to describe it. Don't want to give us a secret sauce. What, in terms of the setup? I can give him a secret sauce away. We are understeering a little bit in a couple of places. Just getting on throttle a little bit too early. Too eagerly. You're welcome, Thomas. Look at all them mountains in the throttle trace. It's not smooth throttle usage, but it's allowing me to maintain speed and keep control of the car, so should keep doing it. Now. Yeah, we are scrubbing the front a little bit in a couple of places. That is true, Lowrek. I mean, it's more to keep the speed and momentum up through that first sector anyway, where you're kind of on and off the throttle going through the corners, and you do use the throttle to both, one, do that, but also keep the car balanced and not quite so heavily on the nose. Obviously you want it to respond and turn in quite nicely. Just trying to maintain a bit more of a neutral balance in the car. Wonder what will be next online championship for LMP3. Love to see Michelin Cup so I can be top class. That would be interesting. I do like the fact there's LMP2s in here though, because it does make it a bit more interesting in terms of the lap traffic, because there isn't a huge difference in terms of pace between LMP3s and GTs. Obviously there is a bit, But I think it just keeps things a bit more alive for all classes having 3 here. And the format works. A lot of the circuits work quite nicely with it. So hopefully they don't change it, and hopefully they keep the race length. Because I think they've got this pretty much nailed down. It's just a case of having the right sort of combination of circuits, weather types, time of day, that sort of thing. But I do also kind of agree. It'd be nice if there's maybe another online championship that was kind of Michelin Cup style. Otherwise, I like this European Le Mans Series format. Alright, so far so good. We can maybe do a little bit of fuel saving just to try and stretch this first stint out a little bit more. Looks like all the LMP2s have gotten through the GT3s. Well, not all of them, but front runners certainly have. Yeah, just doing a little bit of lift and coast now, not much. We'll get this guy on the straight. Just nice. Exit compromised slightly, but not too bad. Love EMS, but there's 3 categories. LMP3 has lowest numbers because of more people for LMP2. Don't have over 3. Only 1 downforce category. Could be more participation and could be bigger. Yeah, it's true. I hear what you're saying. Good thing is LMP3 is still fairly well represented, it feels like. There's opportunity for people to get good results in LMP3 as well. That's the thing, because there's not a huge number of like big pro drivers running the class. I hear what you're saying. And I think, well, obviously this race is a little bit lonely at the moment. As we have some good pace over everyone else, but there's a couple of like really big or faster named LMP3 drivers who aren't here. Brado's not here. Chris Wright isn't here. Just to name a couple. Gibbo doesn't seem to be racing in this particular season. So that would make things a little bit more interesting, and I feel like if we didn't have the crazy start that we did and managed to work our way through that LMP2 mess as cleanly as we did, I think if we got held up a little bit more, I'd probably have a couple of people a bit closer to me than what we do now, because I think E2 Dixon Chen got caught up in the mess of melee, and he had some good pace in qualifying. I feel like he really would have pushed and challenged us here in the race. Fuel load's bleeding off, so pace is starting to come back despite the lift and coast. Starting to close in and onto the back of the LMP GT3s as well. Yeah, the start was a bit crazy. I'm surprised that I managed to get through it quite as cleanly as I did. There was a tiny little bit of contact, but nothing that gave me damage, so that's quite fortunate in that sense. And I got really lucky with where the green light came in the final corner as well. Basically had half a second on P2 straight away because of that. Oh, Leon's had a moment somewhere. Got back down into 4. Was right behind Boyle. He's lost 3 seconds or so. Two seconds maybe. Not 3. Lovely, nice and close on the GT3, so we're able to pick up some slipstream. So there's some damage on the front of their car. Didn't want to lift and coast there with the GT3 reasonably close behind. I didn't want them to go sailing into the back of us. Trying to preserve ourselves a little bit there. Hey, Necro. Everything's going good so far, thanks. How are you? Thank you very much. Here comes the LMP2. Please be patient. Yes. Excellent. Alright, hopefully the rest of the LMP2s are like that. I doubt they'll be quite as patient as P1 was. But we shall see. Pretty low risk move there, so I thought I'd take that one. Getting ready for 60 minutes of wet Nürburgring in ACC. Ooh, that sounds fun. Hey, Michael. How's it going? Now we're going to get held by this LMP3 a little bit. This GT3, sorry, a little bit here. So let's see if we can time a pass around the outside through here. Which we can. Lovely jubbly. Losing a little bit of time to P2 at the moment, but it's okay at the moment. We are working our way through the traffic, after all. And they have all of this to come. Hey Luca, how's it going, mate? Gonna get a beer and get on now. Okay, Necro. Hope your race goes well, mate. Enjoy. Thank you. Glad to hear, Luca. Yeah, doing all good, thank you. Ladies and gents, please give the live stream a like if you reckon that we will hold on to this and not bottle it. Try and get a nice, lovely race win to round out the season. Hopefully we can get past this LMP3 without too much interference or time lost. Very slow on the entry there. Oh, 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 oh. Whoopsie daisy. Lap 17. We'll have to check that one out at the end of the race. Few more GT3s to go. A whole bunch of LMP2s still to come. Or did just about manage to clear him before these last couple of corners, thankfully. So he did try and push it a little bit there, just to try and see if I could sneak on through. LMP2 behind is smoking with overheating issues. Looked like he understeered into the LMP2. Yeah, I agree, Thomas. Quite easy to do in that corner, especially if you don't have a setup. That is quite neutral in high-speed turns. I've been in that LMP2's position in multiple races, multiple cases. The engine's just overheating. Running the radiator duct a bit too tight. Still GT3s to go. Had it in Monza in the Cadillac, yep. Brazil, I've also had it there. Remember? There was somewhere else as well. I can't remember where that somewhere else was. I think it might have been Brazil, like 2 times. Oh, Leon's struggling. Back down in 5th again. It was up into P3 for a moment. Imola? Was it Imola? Maybe. Pretty sure it was twice I've had it at Brazil though. Don't know if it was Imola. Measurable advantage in closing the grills? No, not really. There is one, but it's very, very minimal. I've seen the devs say that on their Discord. Probably like 0.2% performance difference sort of thing by closing it up a little bit. So very, very minor, but there is something there. I do tend to not necessarily push the limits of the radiator closing, but I do tend to close them a bit as if there was a bit more of a performance advantage, just to try and eke out every little bit of performance that you could possibly get. Although here, I have gone really quite conservative considering the temperatures. 52 degrees C track temperature, so that's not really going to affect the oil water temperature all that much, but the 31 degrees C is relatively hot. I could have ran both ducts a bit more closed than they are, but opted not to. And the only other ducts to worry about are the braking ducts, but that all depends on more the track layout and what sort of braking you do around the circuit and how hot the brakes actually get. Just got understeer there on the exit that time. There we go, cleared that GT3 relatively comfortably. Wonder if Bill would pick up on it. Okay. GT3 getting well out of the way. Lighting on camera upgrade, I see. Good evening to you as well, and it's a lighting upgrade. Camera is exactly the same, still in the same place. Obviously I've tweaked the settings for it, but I've just rearranged the lighting in the room. I still have the 2 lights in front of me that I had previously. It's just that I've now swapped the sides of them, and the bigger light I've actually bought and put onto the rig itself. Previously it was on my desk, which is alongside my rig and a bit of a distance over there, so it's now much closer than it was previously. And I've also got a new light and put that one behind me, hence the little shine that's on the top of my head and probably around the seat. Showing me off a little bit better. Oh, and then I also downloaded NVIDIA Broadcast as well, and put the blur effect on the background. So now things look a lot more professional and a lot nicer. And I look even more gorgeous than I did before, so it's a win-win. Hopping more than usual. Thanks. But yeah, I'm really happy with the result. There's just one light more bought, and it's called like a magic clamp. It's like a clamp that goes onto the desk, and it's got the little thread that you can screw a camera or a light fixture into. And I've done that so I could fix both the lights in front of me onto the actual rig itself, which does mean that they move and shake around a little bit. I mean, one of them was fixed to the rig already anyway, and that one being small and quite light, it doesn't really move around. However, the bigger Elgato key light that I have on one side, that is quite big, and therefore does shake and move around, but it stays in place. It hasn't fallen down yet, so not really a concern of mine. Ooh, a little deep there. If the track's too cold and you leave it open, your braking engine could be out of optimal temperature. Kind of. Engine's not really a concern. Generally, the cooler it is, the better it's probably going to perform. However, at the same time, the more drag you are producing. So you do have that trade-off there. Brakes, however, you do kind of want to use the ducts in a way that they're... Ooh, that's a big one. Changed orange at the last second there, which is not ideal. Yeah, those you want more in an optimal sort of temperature range. You don't want them getting too cold. You don't want them getting too hot either, so I'd say the brake ducts are a little bit more important for that in terms of getting peak performance out of them. Trying to get peak performance out of them at least. I mean, I'm doing a little bit of fuel saving. Not a huge amount, but yeah, I'm curious as to what Leon and other people's strategies are here in this race. I know Leon's had some troubles along the line because he was within half a second of boil for quite a while, and obviously he's dropped well down. So I think he's had a couple of moments. But yeah, I'm just trying to do a little bit of fuel saving just to try and keep that fuel down in the bottom right there up to where it is now, that 15 lap mark. Or we'll be going for 15 laps from here. Turned in a little early there. I have to say, I do seem to go pretty well at the US circuits. I quite enjoy COTA. I also enjoy Sebring, to be fair. It's the Eminem's car. That's cool. Leon's in the pits already. Blimey. He must have picked up damage or something on this lap. He's going to be at a fairly significant disadvantage now, though, with a heavier fuel load than everyone else. Unless he's got some sort of issue. He's 6 seconds. He's going to be dropping into all the GT3s again. He'll regret his livery when someone takes a bite out of him. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Too little cooling on the brakes. So changing the brake ducts. That's probably going to be quite no. Actually, no. He's alright. 49, 50-second stop. It is quite easy to go a little bit too hard on the brakes though, with the brake ducts and the cooling on them. Even I dialed mine back from where I'd typically run them. Obviously with the hotter ambient temperatures that's not exactly helping, but yeah, I had to open the front brake duct up a little bit again. I think I tried running 67% on both front and rear, then ended up going 33% on the front, 67% on the rear. Just because the fronts were getting a little hot in testing that I was doing. Yeah, but the track temperature doesn't matter. But you can run these brakes up to about 800, 850 degrees C. When I see them go above 800, that's kind of where I start to worry, but it depends a lot on the nature of the circuit. Like some tracks you can close them up quite a bit because of longer straights and not overly heavy brake usage. Whereas like here, for example, you get a moderate amount of cooling. Not all of these braking zones are overly massive. So obviously up here's a big one, but you don't really touch the brakes again through the S's. So yeah, I reached about 750 degrees C there on the front. But now they're just going to cool pretty much all the way through here because, yeah, as I say, you don't really do much significant braking. Obviously there's a little bit, as you can see, but otherwise not enough. And then through here is a tiny little bit. So yeah, they're cooling to about 350 degrees C before we get to this braking zone. Oh, that's a little deep, just over 600. There, and then obviously a nice big long straight here to help cool them off. Don't you find these tyres to be better at 85 degrees C rather than 95? Probably, yes, but one, in the LMP3 cars, we don't have the choice of compound, and two, track temperature is pretty much dictating the tyre temps. There's not a huge amount I can do to negate that other than drive in a certain way that I'm not absolutely killing and murdering tyres and having a setup that feels quite nice and neutral in these sort of conditions. Which I say I managed to achieve. Having full open ducts wouldn't help. It probably would, but didn't feel the need for that. That'd be nice. I've got a massive lead. I can afford to lose half a second or so just lifting there and letting the MP2 go through. Obviously reducing any massive amounts of risk of keeping my foot in and going side by side into the S's there. Just would have been completely unnecessary. Those two are kind of in a battle, whereas, yeah, as I say, I got a nice lovely lead over second place. Can quite easily afford that lift. Am I back with my pedals? Nope, still on the P700s. I'm going to be recording and shooting another video for the Simagic Evo Ultra in the next couple of days, and I thought it'd be nice to keep the P700s there on the rig so that anyone who watches the video and is intrigued by the P700s may go and have a look at my review video as well. But once that video's done and out, that's when I'll swap back. So probably later on this week, I'll swap back to the P1000s. A little bit unconventional there with that GT3, but they were fresh out the pits, I think. I'm kind of in a bit of no man's land as well. I thought I'd just position myself, kind of indicate that I'd quite like to pass, if I could, around the outside into the next corner, so I wasn't diving them or taking anything too high risk there. Oh, part an MP2 up in front. They're still part there. Kind of wanted to gain a little bit of visibility on them to see what it was that they were actually doing, whether they were going to be rejoining the circuit or not. I did see some smoke going down that start-finish straight from the car in front. Obviously one of those LMP2s that was overheating. I wonder if their engine went bang. So remember, lap 30, chat. Lap 30. We'll double check that. And it's lap 30, lap 17. And obviously the race start. Guys and girls, thank you very much everyone for tuning in. Please give the live stream a like, be very much appreciated. A nice lovely lead here. I'm just trying to maintain a nice flow and rhythm. Not take any risks. Hold on to this as best as I can. Give him plenty of room to come back onto the circuit with. Oh, purple sector 1 and 2, but never mind. Can't always help traffic. Give him a little bit of room, but half a point for that is a lot. Oh, really? That's deep. Oh my god. You could have taken so much more speed into there. Definitely know you could take a lot more speed into there when the LMP3 is able to go faster through into the apex. I know we're probably lighter, but the LMP2s have got quite a bit more downforce and power than what we have. not get the braking right there. Didn't feel confident turning in whilst trail braking a little bit either, so just kept the steering straight as to not spin or loop the car. Like that. "30 more minutes and a pit stop to go." Did the same thing again. Brake too late. Yep. Should be all good, door. As you saw, just put in basically the high end of 12, and my fuel calculator is saying 11.8 laps. They relaxed the track limit in the final 2 turns. No, I don't think it is. I think it's just that second to last corner is quite lenient. Like a lot of the corners, you can't go over the white line. However, in this second to last corner on the exit, you can. Providing you keep 2 wheels on the red and white curbing, you're fine. If you go all 4 wheels over the back of the red and white curbing, that's where the track limits are. But the last corner is definitely not lenient, that's for sure. That one is quite strict on the exit there. Copy that. To be fair, my pit strategy that I worked out on Ultimate Setup Hub, that was saying 37 laps with a single lap fuel save for the first stint. We're on lap 36 and we still got 2 laps of fuel left in the car. So we're going longer there, and then it's saying 13 laps on that that final stint. So we should be okay. I'm actually going 1 lap longer than I need to be. Or a fuel saved a lot more. Understeer. Chronic understeer on the exit there again on throttle. Yep, it's very true. First skill cars, maybe a taste my rainbow above the exhaust. It's a shame there isn't an exhaust on the back of the AMG. For you to put it there, but just have it on the rear bumper instead. Right, and go one more. Here comes the race leader. Almost lost the car under braking there. I mean, it was fine, but this felt like I was going a little deep. Some clench of the cheeks on your side. Yeah, there's a tiny little bit for me as well. Car that's going another lap longer. Alright, so then I got 2.3 laps worth of fuel more than I actually need. So we can basically go to the end without lifting coasting from here. Okay. I mean, if you wanted to pass, you could have timed that a lot better and not gone for the inside in turn 2, because no one's going to give the inside unless you're already there alongside before the point of turning in. Those Goodyear logos could do with being a little bit further wider. To be more on the outer parts of the rear bumper. Otherwise, that's a really nice looking livery. I quite like the fact it's got some real world sponsors on there as well. You do see that with some fictional liveries and having highly detailed and decorative designs to them, as they have all these really nice intricate designs or like really good high resolution imagery on them, but there's no sponsors, and it takes away from the overall look a little bit. Obviously, you don't want the car absolutely covered in sponsors and having them in silly, unrealistic places. So it's definitely a thing, such as having too many sponsors. But yeah, cool livery. Oop. Got a little bit of movement from the rear end there. And so it was a little bit interesting with that GT3 as well. Thankfully they held a tight line and let us go on through before we got into the S's. Definitely going through the best of the tyres. It feels like going through that section there. Either on much lower fuel loads, it's a bit more difficult to maintain the speed through the turns to match the fastest time. I mean, the tyres are in a pretty good state, to be fair. Obviously a little hot on the front, but ain't too bad. Leon's back up in the fourth. Give them a wide berth. Did not want to be getting caught up in the back marker's troubles. Oh. Leon currently has the fastest lap of the race. Copy that, door. Copy that. Hey F1 Mike. What did I have for breakfast? 3 Weetabix. So yes, I did have my Weetabix. But yeah, I just managed to nail the setup for this car and track combo, I think. Been taking everything that I learned throughout the seasons, well, sorry, throughout the races this season, and managed to piece together and land on something that feels both very quick and relatively easy to drive. Like, if you push it into the braking zones, it does want to bite on you a little bit. But otherwise, yeah. It's nice and quick. Thank you very much, Paddy. Much appreciated. Guys, please give the live stream a like. It'd be good to get a whole bunch of likes on this one and get some extra visibility on it. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps me out a great deal as well. Remember to do that for all your favourite content creators, live streamers, and all that sort of thing. Just give them likes on their videos, because it helps out massively with the algorithm and promoting people's content. So don't only do it here, do it for other people as well. And if you're new, please consider subscribing. It would be great to have you on board. And if you're feeling extra generous and supportive, you can also become part of the pit crew, one of the channel members, where you'll get access to exclusive content live streams, a nice fancy little badge next to your name, and one or two other small little perks. And obviously that generosity and support will be very much appreciated. Coming to the last 5 minutes here of this race. A few laps remaining. Thomas, thank you very much for subscribing. If you're here in the chat, do say hi. Be good to hear from you, because I don't think you have spoken, unless you're no, I don't think you were the Thomas who was talking earlier on. We could get held up quite massively here. Probably the best that I could have done there out of that situation without forcing anything on either of the two drivers or risking something ourselves. curb. I thought it was you, but the race described a long time ago. Yeah, I know, Thomas. I remember you chatting earlier on in the live stream and asking a few questions and things like that, and I remember that your name was like one whole name rather than separated like Thomas, who's just subscribed to the channel. So I did think it was a different Thomas. Oh dear. Beep that. Oh, Leon's gone even quicker, 2022. Definitely gotten a lot more comfortable in his car. Pushing hard for that P3, it looks like. There goes P1. In a fight for the podium, yeah. Look like it. Worth watching back on the replay. Okay. I've got the track limits right on that final lap. I don't think I've got a tyre grip anyway to improve. Not without some risk. Beautiful. P1. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Jobby, let's go. Very happy with that. And faster on the final lap, but it wouldn't have been fast enough to have beaten Leon's time. Oh, wee. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. Very, very happy with that. Oh. Hands ache a little bit now. Whew. Thank you. Over 30 seconds. Oh. Oh, Leon's made it to the end. Not quite P3. Damn. Fortunate for him. It's close. Race set up. Lovely, lovely. Oh. Yeah, I think a few people got caught up in some incidents there in that that first corner, and how much of a different race if people weren't caught up in that. Right, let's go and have a look at the replay. Let's see what we can find. If I remember correctly, lap 17, lap 30 are all things to keep an eye on, and that's a nice, lovely jump up in driver rating there. Happy with that. 315 points again. Nice, lovely hike in points, so hopefully that'll do our championship standings rather nicely. Yeah, it's going to show the rubbish version there. Oh no, I want to go back in. P5 overall, and that is with one race discounted, or one race missed. So yeah, Bay is finishing ahead of me. Yeah, so as these are the standings, so basically P5 in the championship is the best I was going to get. So pretty happy with that nationality-wise. P3, the other guys in front. Down a little bit on manufacturer points. And then I have no friends in the championship. Bad. But yeah, it seems like COTA was obviously a bad race for us, but that got discounted anyway. And then Fuji as well was not a good race for us either. Obviously Sebring went well. Bahrain, fairly good, but could have been better. We missed the first race in Brazil. That could have been good fun. But yeah, it was just the other two results here that just kind of let us down a little bit. And then this race, despite the win, obviously the strength of field wasn't quite as high, so less points from that. So yeah, we were missing some of the drivers like Gosling and Rado and a few others. Anyway, let's take a look at this race replay. Let's have a look, see what happened at the start of the race in particular. Very curious about that because I think we can spend quite a while looking at all the incidents and everything there. And it wasn't a server where it was reading any work or anything like that, so that's good. Right, let's take a look. Let's have a good old gander. So right here, straight away, we got a fairly significant jump over P2. Tighter line here, and then that's where the green light is. And this was P2. So I think I remember it was about half a second already at this point. So much better, or we got very lucky, shall I say, in terms of reaction to the lights. And then yeah, picking our way through this was interesting. Oh dear, definite distraction behind. I mean, even we had a little bit of contact there with this guy in front, so spinner here. Another guy spinning on the exit. Tiny little hit there. And then crazy stuff going on behind, which really helped us out. And at this point, we're about 0.8, 0.9 seconds ahead of this guy who is in P2, who also managed to dodge a lot of the crazy. Oh, he got held up there by P3. That really hurt his line off, or his run off, shall I say. Oh, bit of argy-bargy there. Oh my god, he got lucky that the gap just opened up for him. Right. Let's go back a little bit here. Have a look, see what actually caused all this chaos. So this guy spun, right? Yeah, so he got hit from behind. Spun there. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh my god, no, not in front of the GT3s. Chaos. Chaos ensued. Right, then this guy spun on the exit of the turn. Oh. Damn. So there's a big, like, change in camber in the road there. You can see as we rock over, the car rocks over this. So at the moment, the front right is kind of heavily unloaded. And then all of a sudden, whoop. That then all of a sudden compresses down, and it's the rear left that's unloaded. This is the only tyre that has traction, which just wants to push the car round, and that's exactly what happened. And it was just, yeah, really unfortunate to be exactly where it was, and oh my god. Death everywhere. I hear you even retired. Wow. Right, Leon, how did you do through all of this? So there's the green light on the outside. Kind of gets screwed over a little bit through that. Goes around the outside there. Oh my god. Good avoiding action. Managed to dodge all of the chaos. Wrong button. And not pick up any damage. So this is P2. Around the outside of that first guy there, and then he unfortunately had this guy pinballed right into his path, and bam, big damage to the front of their car, no doubt. How badly bent is the steering? It's hard to tell when they're going through the S section here. Leon up the inside. Doesn't seem that bad. Just a couple of degrees off. Not too horrendous. Right. I know that Jason got caught up in and amongst all. So let's see what happened to him. Oh, he is a little slow reacting to the green light. I think he was just being cautious as to when the green actually went. Just... Oh, he barely reacted and he shifted up into second gear straight away. So yeah, he had a horrible slow start. Oh dear. That really sucked. There's the damage badge. About 5 degrees off. So Lebu's got a fairly good start, and then what happened to him? Oh my god. And then presented with a field of GT3s. Oh dear. He did the right thing of just sitting there and holding the brake, but other people... Oh. What was this Mercedes doing? Decided last minute to go, and then that left this Porsche and the Mercedes behind with nowhere to go. Fair, it's chaos and calamity for these guys as well. That, oh dearie me. Okay, he didn't have a huge amount of time to react. Obviously, we knew that the car was there, and therefore was anticipating it. But when you're kind of in and around trying to dodge everyone else, you weren't going to have a huge amount of time to try and react there anyway. Right, what happened? Then at the start on the inside here. Oh, yeah, that was that LMP2 doing its terrible rejoin. Right, let's have a look at the other things that happened throughout the race. So, lap 17, There was this guy here in front, and this LMP3. Oh. Absolutely minced the tyres. Oh dear. That was pretty unfortunate. Alright, that was lap 30. We went a little deep there. No, it was the start of that lap. So it was this guy, small. He the one who had the smoky engine. He just parks it. My tires. Okay. Interesting. Right. Said Leon's battle was interesting towards the end. Does he actually get him? Curious as to what happened to Leon throughout that race. I think he had a couple of spins. So we'll try and take a look at those in a minute. Oh. Not quite there. Nice. Good little fake. Presenting himself in the mirrors. Just, yeah, beautiful. Beautifully timed. Just enough to put him off slightly. Goes a little deep, side by side on the exit. Straight drag race. Who's got the less wing? The LMP2 staying way over to the left, staying well out of the way of that. Trying not to influence it. Where he is now, slipstream. Who's the later of the late breakers? Guy on the outside is... Oh my god. Oh, that was on Leon. That little tap. Yeah, he's managed to hold on to that position really well. And then is that it? Does it settle down from there? LMP2 behind, being patient. Oh, that was the end of the race. That was unfortunate. Right, let's take a look, because yeah, he was really close to Boyle for quite a while. Phipps is there behind as well. Guessing off the exit of here. No. Okay. Oh. there. Holding it in second. Oh, just a little too much slower. Well held though. Or at least recovered, shall I say. Nice, got a place back there. There's Bull. Oh. Yeah, I was going to say you managed to get up into P2 at one point. I remember now. Yeah, it's like traffic was a part in all this. Hang on a second. No, that's not Bull. So he's in fourth here. Yeah, back in third. Crips is still behind, so I think on this lap something happens. Oh, that's what happens. Oh my god, he just came from absolutely nowhere. And he's kind of stuck as to where to go. Oh, Leon. Oh! Okay, yeah, that's not Leon's fault at all. What is this guy doing here? He's just not slowing down for whatever reason. That was really unfortunate. Biff, and then this is, yeah, where he's pitted, and then trying to work his way back through the group. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for this evening. Damn, well, what a good fun and interesting race that was. Very, very happy to get the race win with that. Very, very pleased with the performance and with the pace. I'll be uploading the setup to ultimatesetaphub.com for that car and track combination. So make sure to check out that. I'll probably do it either in a minute or tomorrow morning, one of the two. So it'll be up very, very soon. But yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody, for that race. I'm unsure whether we'll do a live stream on Thursday because obviously the online championships are now done for this season. So it's kind of the off-season period. We'll see if we do something Thursday night or not. I might have a chill break evening from doing it, especially as I'll probably spend the next 2 evenings doing the Simagic Ultimate or Evo Ultra review. So keep an eye out for that when that drops later on, either Thursday or Friday, depending on how quickly I can get the video recorded and then edited and all that sort of thing. But yeah, thank you very much everyone for tuning in. Until the next time, the next video, have fun, look after yourselves, stay safe, take care. We won!